Hey, welcome back to our playlist Mastering PHP and MySQL in 2024. So as you can see on our playlist, we know now how to configure and install PHP and MySQL. You know how to create your database. You know now how to connect your database, how to connect it with PHP and MySQL, and how to create a form on PHP, on how to add a user and information. And then now on this video, what I'm going to show you is how to connect that form with your database. And so we're gonna start coding some PHP and connecting it to my SQL with PHP admin and so on. So I hope you enjoyed this series.
By the way, if you're serious about your learning and want to land a web developer job, this is part of my full course on Udemy and fullbootcamp.org.
Let's go dive it right into it. So you know the drill, but just in case, let's go into our file explorer. We're going to get right here in our file explorer, and on our C drive, this is where we have XAMPP. Let's just make sure that XAMPP is on. And yes, as you can see, Apache it's on, MySQL is on. You know how, if you want to know how to configure this, well, watch the video on the configuration. I'll link it on the description. I'll also link it on the top if you want to watch this, if you're new to this channel. And if you're serious about your learning, don't forget to subscribe and check me out also on Udemy. So we're going to our C drive and we're gonna go into XAMPP, and over here we have HTTP docs and we have our PHP course. This is where we have been creating our folder of PHP course. And as you can see, we have those two files, the connection PHP and then the index PHP. So here you know the drill, shift on your keyboard and then you right click on your mouse, and then you have PowerShell, which you open right here, and we can do code space dot, and when we press on enter, this is gonna bring Visual Studio Code if you already installed Visual Studio Code. If not, go into my videos and I'll show you how to install this great application for you to start becoming a web developer. So now we're working, we have our connection PHP. This is what connects to the database. Now we were working on the form on the last video, and our form is ready with the model. As you can see here, here's our form. So everything is correct. Now let's go on the browser. Let's go on this browser over here, and as you can see, we have the nav bar, and now we have this button that says create user. When you click on it, you have a nice model with this form. Everything is working accordingly. And now we want to, when we gonna press on save changes, what we want is, we want to make sure that when you press on save changes, that all the information over here gets sent to the database. So that's what we're gonna work on today. And for that, what we need to do is open the index file over here. And actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new file, and we're gonna call it save.php. And on save.php, well, we're gonna start coding some PHP. That's the opening tag, and then you can close the tag like this to let the program know that we're gonna be working with PHP. Now, one thing that is important to do is we need to take the top of this file over here, and we're gonna copy it until, actually we're just gonna copy it until the head right here. Why? Because we want the CS of Bootstrap to apply nice colors like this one, and also the JavaScript in case we use JavaScript for validation later on. So that's the reason why we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna bring it to the save, and we're actually gonna put it here below the code. Oh, here I made a mistake. I'm closing the tag, you see. It's good that I realized that. This is why this was not being blue. So if you did the same mistake, this is the way you learn, by doing mistakes. So yeah, now it's everything in blue, nicely formatted. So now we have here this, and we're gonna start by creating the body over here on the bottom, and we're gonna say body. I'm gonna let the IntelliSense work for us, and now we're gonna create a div with the class container. Okay, this is a class from Bootstrap. Okay, that will format nicely our div. And now we're gonna say we need another div, and this time we're gonna put the class as row. So once again, emit extension with IntelliSense is making their job right here, and another div right here. We're gonna style it a little bit, and we're gonna say okay, div with another class of row. So but over here we're gonna style it. Okay, we're gonna say style equals to text align center. This we could do it in many other ways, not only this way. Actually, because we put quotes here, we gotta close the quotes here. We can also put it over here with a CSS, but we're gonna just make it simple for us. Just make style text align center. So we're saying put this in the center, and now we're gonna start coding over here right below this row. Actually, do we put it on the container? No, let's put the style actually not on the container, because the container is already doing his thing. Instead, we're going to put it right here on the last div. We could have tested and then check it out, but we're gonna put it on the last div right here. Okay, and over here we're gonna say, let's open PHP code, because we're gonna do an if statement, if, and then a condition, and then we closed the brackets, and then we're gonna put some code here. So we're gonna put a condition over here, but before we put this condition, let's go back over here on our index, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on those elements over here in our form. You see we have the name, the inputs, all the inputs. We have the name input, enter your name, so we're right here, the name. Then we have the email here, the name, email. So we're gonna start coding this part over here to make the connection. So if we go back to save, on the top here, we're gonna tell first PHP, and listen PHP, we're gonna require a file, and which is the file that we're going to require is connection PHP, because we want to connect to our database. Okay, this is the first thing you're gonna need. Now we're gonna start creating the variables that I show you that belong. So the name, and then we have the email, and you have to do it on the same order. Email, we're gonna do phone, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to this index. It's right here. I just show you on the form. I'm talking about this name here, phone, and I'm talking about email, this email here. Okay, so let's go back to our save and let's continue this. And there's after the phone we have the status. Okay, and for the moment we're gonna start only with those ones. Okay, we're gonna say this is equal to, we're gonna say it's equal to post. Okay, because it's the function we're gonna be using to send the information. So whatever information the user will type on this input, on this field, I want you to put the name and link those two and send it to our database. So this is what we're saying. The name of the input, we pause it here. With first, we're gonna put it here. This is the info, the name that comes from the HTML on the index. So it's the information that the user will enter. And now we're gonna put this in this variable called name. Okay, that's what we're doing. So we're gonna do the same for, actually we're just gonna copy and paste, so we are not going to waste some time here. Equals like this, because basically we're saying the same thing. Okay, equals, made a little bigger so you can see it. So here simple, just change it to email. Here you're going to change it to phone, and here to status. Okay, so we have it as so. And now we're going to say, okay, for kids, because we're asking on the form, if you remember the form here, we're saying kids, status is just a selection, so they were gonna select what they want, you married or other, and that information will be sent to the database. As for the kids, it's a boolean, yes or no. And an interest, as you can see, is a checking box. So for this, we're gonna need to do something a little different.